Hey guys, it's Parker here, back with part 16 of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Alright, continuing on. We are on a study tour of Great Britain, with the intention of learning the country's legal practices. In order to research the latest court procedures here, we need as much court experience as possible. Well, yes, I suppose that's true, but for the person in the dock, it may well be his or her one and only time in court, and it could be life-changing. In which case, treating it as research may seem a little crass. Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right. Good morning! Ah, Mr. Natsume, good morning. Oh dear, are you alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot. The early bird catches the worm, as they say here in Britain. Yes, I've heard that expression, but I really don't want to catch a worm. So I tried desperately not to wake up early, but I was so worried I couldn't catch a wink. And now I'm absolutely exhausted as a result. Do all literary people take things so literally? Thank you for putting your face in us today, Mr. Natsume. I mean, I did study literature in college, but like, I don't think we're that literal. I wish I had 9 lives! My whole future hangs in balance time! 2. Terrified. 2. Trouble! Really? Because I could feel tremors in the floor. I can't do this. I can't take it. Although, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Yes? I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night at the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London. Oh, neither did I. Do you know why that might be, Mrs. Sato? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, I have no idea. So that all-knowing look on your face is just coincidence then, is it? Don't hide the trust from me! It's because of the Reaper, isn't it? Lord Van Zeeks? Is that right, Mrs. Sato? I purchased as many different newspapers as I could find this morning, yes. Lord Van Zeeks is in the front page of every one. I knew it. Sometime after prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of the Bailey. He stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday. Yes, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? The trial of Magnus McGill, ugh, what a harrowing experience that was. I believe that appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than the days, but we wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country. Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon for what appears to be mundane murder? That's the question the papers are asking, and they're all speculating various answers. Mundane? Mundane is the most significant saga of the century to some of us. Oh dear, I meant no offense, Mrs. Natsume, but that is how the papers are describing it. But it's not even a murder. Well, lest we also forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. Obviously, the reappearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. But there's another blatant similarity with the trial 2 days ago. Yes, I agree. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, it's you! Me? Well, I suppose that's true. Most times it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean that you're friends with the Reaper! Please, I don't rub shoulders with Deathbringers. I'm afraid that there's only really one other explanation. It can only be another example, Miss Naruhodo, of her uncommon bad luck. Thanks for that. Oh, this is just my luck. Why must we be represented by a man with such frail fortune? By the least lucky liar alive! Well, let's not forget that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. Yes, it's true that I'm just a student new to London with little in the way of experience or skills or luck. But I promise you this. I will fight your corner until the bitter end, and I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume. Oh, benevolent local student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You're not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your side. Oh, benevolent non-local assistant Miss Mikotopa Esquires. I am in your debt forever! Mr. Natsume, counsel for the defense! The court session is about to begin. Kindly make our way to the courtroom at once. Alright then, Miss Natsume, it's time. Let's go. Yeah, yes! This is it. My second appearance in a British courtroom. And my second trial against the Reaper. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because this time I won't let my face waver. I'll believe in my client to the last. Just like you believed in me. I believe I could do this now. I'm ready for this fight. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution deposit to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord. The defense is ready, my lord. The Nipponese are a truly fascinating breed. Sorry, what? Lord Strongarm told me all about you. That you're a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago, a mere amateur. Do you have a point? Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance. Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description. Susato-san. After all, at our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent. Very true, and a most fascinating, if dark, trial was too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the acquitted, and his unfortunate violent end. Thank you, consuls. I see both sides are in fine fettle. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry your duties in court as impartial members of the public? You never know when you might this stat guy might be down on your luck, and I believe fair play for everyone. Well, I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear. Oh well, not me. What do you see is what you get, a peace-loving fellow. I'm afraid to say it was quite possible that mustache foreigner did the deed. Come on, what are we waiting for? No doubt we did it anyway. Huh? Sorry? Didn't quite catch that. Oh boy. Very well, let us proceed. Our opening statement, if you please, or find seats. Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with the rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from the same land, a certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. And while our country has extended this foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regretfully, the kindness is not being returned. In fact, the student is accused of a most sinister act. Of plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who's doing nothing but walking down the street. A knife crime? Tell you for better experience, those are the worst bloody oaths they are. Just look at the shallow complexion and short stature. He's one of the dreadful Japanese. Oh my god. Come on, let's get this over with me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Already? Sorry, didn't quite catch that. Pray, forget the discourtesy of smashing my haloed chalice here in this great chamber. Allow me to call the first witness to stand. Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector in, please. Your name and occupation, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector of Scotland Yard. Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector? The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green. Olive? I beg your pardon, Inspector, thought to be? Yes. Having been stabbed in the back by her attackers tonight, the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now. She's been comatose ever since. What? So they don't even know who she is for sure? Comatose, I see. But her life is not in danger? Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder. Pray, elaborate on the details, Inspector. Sir, if I could ask everyone to look at the street map. As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago at around 5 in the afternoon. It happened on the pavement running alongside Briar Road, a wide thoroughfare for horse-drawn vehicles. It had not long since stopped snowing as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. He looks so nervous. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared and she's currently being treated in one of the city's hospitals. But being unconscious that she is, we're not able to take a statement from her, of course. This little case file with everything we know about the victim so far. Thank you, Inspector. The court expected documents as evidence, please. Okay, why don't we look at the court record? Details: young woman rendered cautious following a stab wound to the back. Stout build, early 20s. Payment of Rowley side. Reporting officer Rolly beat. Huh. The victim remains unconscious. Her name was gleaned from her personal effects. Other details are unknown. Apart from the single stab wound from the large knife, no other signs of injury were observed. The assailant was seen running away by the reporting officer and was successfully arrested the following day. Okay. What about the weapon that was used? Sir, I have that here. It was removed from the victim's back. Ouch, this big thing started to make me scared to walk down the street now. With a heavy blade, I thought almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman. Even a scragged looking Seki-san, I suppose. A comment regarding jackknife, I would say, rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. Okay. Okay, let's look at this. Oh, so it's kind of, it switches over, doesn't it? Okay, and it switches back. All we can tell about the student's possession, it seems like she's a poor student herself. Hard too much she would have anything much worth pinching, my lord. I see. Well, in that case, are we looking at some decent resentment toward the victim? I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from the visiting second-hand bookshops, the event in Mr. Natsume doesn't appear to get out much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim.
Yes!
If death and grievance has ruled out as a motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? Yet you arrested the man in spite of that in a totally unjustified and heavy-handed way.
Objection!
Damn! Pray, forget the discordancy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public eye. Why throwing a wine bottle? But your words of score are soured as hell, Bouquet. For it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here. What? Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Nipponi student. Yes, sir. As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred and there was an unusual light fog. Visibility was reasonably good and there was no one else about but the victim and accused. Out of the blue, the victim staggered behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Those being a number of books he just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found a block to arrest him. Okay. Yes, Laura, a photographer here at the scene of the crime, taken immediately after the incident. Ah yes, I can clearly see the books to which you are referring. I'll take that photographic print as evidence, please, Inspector. Okay. I want to check it out. Nipponese are spineless breed, too cowardly to admit defeat. Denying everything is despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Well, forgive me, Lord Francis, but the defendant is not denying everything as he put it. What are you doing, Mrs. Sato? Do go on. Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part of the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, now you mention it. When we visited him in prison yesterday, he did tell us what the hell happened. A green overcoat? Well, that's exactly what the woman in the print is wearing. Oh my, a photographer printed full color. What would the world come up with next? Color television? Radio? The defendant has done nothing more than admit he fled the scene of a terrifying incident. That does not mean that he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing a woman in the back. There was nobody else there at the time, just the two of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there's nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. In fact, that the accused concedes. It seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, whatever. Proceed, please. Yes, my lord, nothing for it. I have to use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance.
Hold it!
But in my country, people usually imagine it as a city around a beautiful appearance. How quaint. Yes, well, it's not something us Londoners tend to romanticize, as I expect you can appreciate. I see. At this time of year, the fog causes a large number of accidents, especially when it's heavy. Sometimes you can't even see your own hand at the end of your arm. Yeesh. Indeed, the other day I was very near trampled by horses before I could see the carriage they were pulling. Ugh, so sad. I should definitely remember to stop, look, and listen. However, on the day that concerns us, the fog was somewhat lighter than usual. A fact, no doubt, lamented by the accused.
Hold it!
How are you able to state that with any certainty? Quite simply, my learned friend. Because that's what the witnesses to this crime have told us. Ah yes, Inspector Gregson mentioned the witnesses yesterday, didn't he? That's right, one of them is a policeman, I believe, for Scotland Yard. That is correct, ma'am. Then we must hear their testimony. The prosecution will of course call them to stand, should it be necessary. But wait a minute. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, middle of winter, it would have been dark already. No matter how light the fog might have been, no one could have seen. I'm unaware of the situation near a tiny island in the east. But here in the capital city of Great Britain, all main roads are illuminated the light by gas streetlights. Ah, the prosecution believes there would have been ample light by which to witness the crime. Quite! Here in London, for the first time in history, mankind has been completely conquered by the darkness. Which means you really need to hear those witness statements. If I could just get through the fog of this cross-examination, maybe able to. It seems the counsel for the defense is taking stock. Continue with your testimony, Inspector.
Hold it!
That's right, as you can see for this print. Stab from behind. Luck is on your kind side, it seems. On the contrary, my alright kind is exceedingly unlucky. Your force of tone is seriously undermined by those disturbingly wide eyes, I'm afraid.
Hold it!
Mr. Natsume's belongings? I think you find his on there. The photographer printed the crime scene. Okay, what are the titles of those books? Because we have the receipt. Yes, the 3 books on the floor. Sorry, my lord. Second-hand books they were. Irreparably damaged after falling to snow, of course. Because we have the receipt of 3 books. Like, does that match the title on that photograph? The accused could easily have carried all 3 books in one hand, which means his other hand would have been free to wield a knife, for example. He's very clever, isn't he? What do you mean? He's made it extremely hard for you to assert that Mr. Natsume had his hands full of his books. He's managed to close the one avenue of escape he might have had before he even knew it was there. You mean to say that the defendant was holding his belongings as he thrust the knife into the woman's back? That must be what happened, my lord, yes. I commend the accused on the lofty matter of the scholarly attention. Okay, I was just gonna lower the volume for me a bit. Okay. The block's room was stacked floor to ceiling with those musty old books. Can you tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector? Well, if I must, I'll ask you to look at the street map again, I'm afraid. The closest second-hand bookshop to the accused lodgings is this place here, Bourbon Books. A little place in the corner of Briar Road and Meerschaum Street. Meerschaum? I don't know. As it happens, the accused is currently living in the lodgings on the other side of Briar Road at the opposite end, which means it does take a genius to work out the route he would have taken home. Something like this. Yes, I concur with your conclusion, Inspector. The defendant was certainly past the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular spot. What if he took the other route? Mr. Naruhodo, I think that's what the inspector just told us could turn out to be of vital importance. Yes, I agree. The most important point that the inspector just made being... the bookshop's location? The crucial detail which he just told the court inspector is the location of the bookshop. I couldn't agree more. So, where is it exactly? Eh? Are you winding me up, Sunshine? You just explained that. I got the map out and everything. Use red blooming ink and drew the box right home for you. And I distinctly remember seeing you nod along, Council. Oh, yes. Yes, of course. I must have been nervous and didn't take it in. Okay, not the location, I guess? The bookshop's name? Mr. Naruhodo, I was strong advice to look carefully to the court record at this stage. Yes, miss. At once to win. Sorry, I made a mistake, miss. I'm so sorry. Okay, we'll just do it again, I guess. Look, listen here, man. I can make mistakes too. I'm really tired here. Okay, let's just freaking go through this again. Gosh, freaking damn it. At least the text go by really fast so I could just speed through this. And then I could just speed through while pressing the buttons and then pick the wrong choice again. That happened a lot when I was playing the previous Ace Attorney games. Okay. The bookshop's name. Inspector Gregson, may I ask you a favor? What? Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your form of testimony, please? I believe it may be of vital importance. Maybe. Oh, well, you know, I mean, yes! It could be a very important clue. Very well. Now that I can see it being of any great significance, but please revise the testimony accordingly, Inspector. Yes, sir, my lord. Whatever you say. Could the man be any more sardonic? He's a very sarcastic person. From Bourbon Books. Okay, let's look at the receipt here. It's from your books. Percent. If I could just stop you there, Inspector Gregson. What is the Sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know. Just the receipt that we found in Mr. Natsuma's room. It was issued on the day of the incident and details the purchase of 3 second-hand books. And you found that in the accused's room, did you? Yes, but the point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop printed on it. Go on. This receipt was issued from a bookshop called Your Books. Your Books? Y-O-R-E, I presume? Yes, my lord. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books. Eh? What? Inspector, do you know of this other bookshop? Yes, sir. Your Books is another second-hand bookshop not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that... Well, it's such a small place. I didn't think the accused would have known about it. But in fact, that is the bookshop which the defendant visited on the day in question. And this receipt proves it. Yes, for what difference it makes. I mean, he could have taken a different route because the bookshop could have been in a different location. Other than Bourbon Books. Whatever the man purchases musty tones, it makes no difference in the final analysis. It does. I disagree. I mean, after all, I have the street map here if that might be of help. Oh, yes, thank you. Have a look at this, please. If the defendant had been returning for bull-run books, then yes, he would almost certainly have passed the place where Miss Green was attacked. However, if we take into account the fact that he was actually at another bookshelf, your books, it may very well turn out that you wouldn't have passed that location at all. Could that be true? My rather depends on where this other bookshop is, but I do could maybe be a possibility. Is that right, Mr. Larcer, what you just said? Absolutely, it absolutely could be right. Inspector Gregson, where's this Your Books establishment? Well, obviously we looked into that. It turns out that Your Books is just here on the next corner of Burschholm Street going east. Okay, then he would have taken like Calabash Road instead, right? And there you have it, as you can clearly see now. Oh. I mean, he could have taken Calabash Road instead of Briar Street. My learning bunny's friend is obviously in training to be a clown the way he regals us with such a witty. I'm gonna use that sentence later. To your future career in the first circuit. Okay, I'm totally screenshotting that later. Grr, you put the glass down or I'll put it down for you. Susana, you're so brave. I didn't think I needed to spell it out, but here we go. If the accused is coming over Your Books instead of Bourbon Books, well, what if he took Calabash Road instead? There's no doubt he still would have passed the place where the victim was stabbed. What if he took Calabash Road? Yes, thank you, Inspector. Allow me to reiterate from my learn, if so much so, Lean Bunny's friend. Wherever the man purchases musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. As I suspected, you gotta fool me and I'll don't subject to try. What did I say, eh? I had enough of this now. I beg your pardon? Terrible Starbuck, would you mind repeating that? Mr. Naruhodo, we mustn't give up. What do you mean? If the prosecution's assertion is correct, the members of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Knudsen is guilty. Ah, she's absolutely right. You must think. You must consider the assertion just put forward by the prosecution very, very carefully. They claim Soseki-san must have passed the location incident on his way home, but raise an objection. The assertion just made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed. Explain yourself, Consul. Yes, my lord. You can see what I mean on this map. When returning from Your Books' lodgings, why would he take the longer road? Mr. Noxman could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, that isn't the only conceivable route to take between the two places. He could have taken Calabash Road. If the defendant uses streets, look what happens. He arrives back in his lodgings, now passing the location where the victim was attacked.
Objection.
Talking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that that route is what is commonly referred to as the long way around. On a cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take a longer route home? Well, the answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, I mean, how do you know? Maybe he wanted some more exercise. The accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings and is the obvious perpetrator of this crime. Yes, I got it. Obviously, you must ask the man himself, ask Mr. Nelson which route he took home. I have already informed the court of the accused's response to such questioning. He claims he has no recollection. That's right. As I said, the box needs to spend his time outside, wandering aimlessly from A to B. That day was some exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home. I mean, it was foggy, right? I don't believe this. I thank you, my learned friend, and suggest that we do not waste any more discourse time with wandering aimlessly around the subject. Pray, what say you insightful jurors? But even as a... I agree, Lord Vatstakes, wholeheartedly and in every way. What? I don't believe it. Does this mean we members of the jury are completely convinced now? Very well. In that case, I hereby the members of the jury present your findings in court. Oh my gosh, are we gonna do another summation examination? Please, I want to listen to that theme again. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
It appears the jury's saying is unanimous. To the insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve Queen and country admirably. Mr. Naruhodo. No, not yet. This is over. I still one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury. I have to tip the balance of the scales the other way. I have to turn this around. Time to tip the scales! Somehow. Those are the eyes of her not yet willing to give up and die. So I presume you intend to wield your rights again in this trial. Right of the defense written into antiquated British law that should have been buried long ago. Call it antiquated if you will, but it's the defense's prerogative to carry out a summation examination if it so chooses. Very well, Consul. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with a summation examination. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Of course they're ready. I'm all too familiar with the Nipponese whippersnapper and his uncle's refers to throwing his alley. Judicial findings. I'm just gonna be quiet and listen to the theme. With only minor exceptions, the reason for finding the defendant guilty are all too clear. When the stabbing occurred, the only two people at the scene were the victim and the accused. And the accused himself has submitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes. Furthermore, if you heard from the suspected that the defendant testified the scene. I must say I would have ample grounds to convict this man already. Oh dear, even the judge appears convinced of Mr. Knotsman's guilt now. Why do you have to run away like that? And how are we supposed to believe in some phantom attack that nobody can see? This is impossible. How could it possibly be a case for defense? Mrs. Naruhodo, this is no time for grumbling. If you want to force the trial to continue, yes, I know, I have to turn the tide. I will see the jurors change their minds. Well, four of them at least. Exactly. We have no choice but to forge forward. You have the floor, Consul. Begin your summation examination. Yes, my lord. I just need to keep this trial going somehow, whatever it takes. Come on, Yonosuke, you can do it. Jury examination. Man, this theme is just so good. I just had to listen to it. But it seems to me that what counts is whether the little Japanese fellow actually went that way or not. Well, yes, that's true. And at the moment, there's no proof that shows he did, is there? Well, yes, it's true as well. And as I understand it, the accused still doesn't remember which way he went, does he? Well, yes, that's annoyingly true. Winter nights are dark and cold, so the way I see it, you want to get home as quick as possible. Well, yes, why is all this true? So really, the only thing that makes sense is that we went home along Briar Road. I'm supposed to be convincing you here. Just give me a lot of thought, you know. I didn't just make my mind on a whim that he did it. I mean, if there's some logical reason why I might have gone to Calabash Road way, it would be different. I'd be happy to reconsider my position in that case. Honest, I would. The reason why Soseki-san might have taken the longer way home. Yeah, it's a good reason. I would imagine you'd be able to sway the young man's opinion without one. If there was a reason that Soseki-san took the longer road, is there a reason for that?
Hold it!
You're the wife of Mr. Gardner, aren't you? The latter who runs Miss Natsuma's home? The master's wife? Where did you get your ideas, sir? And the maid don't understand. She's keeping up the charade. Ugh, it's gonna be awkward. Why didn't you mention this yesterday? That you've been selected for the jury in this trial, I mean. Well, I was told not to mention it to anyone until the day of the trial, you see. It was in the letter I received. The instructions are very clear, so I'm afraid I have no choice. I see. Anyway, Mr. Natsuma, the defendant, takes lodging in your master's house, does he? Yes, that's right. Although he's only been a little over a week now. And at the time, surely must have taken stock with this character. Does Mr. Natsuma look like the kind of man who would commit crimes such as this? Oh my goodness me, yes, he's just the sort. What? Spending all his time in a dark and dingy room, sporting down his circleless mustache. The man never speaks. And don't get me started on the shifty eyes. All the neighbors are talking about him. I've heard, don't you know, people think he must be building a bomb there or something. Oh dear, but poor Mr. Natsuma, how could people say such things about him? He's just a harmless bookworm, nothing more. Well, you just called him a worm, so... Anyway, I better be careful about inviting this maid to speak. She said enough damning things already. Actually wanted to press this lady here.
Hold it!
I could tell you what's going through my funny little mind right now, but you wouldn't like it.
Hold it!
Oh, I see. That must be very hard. I go to a unit everywhere to find out what he's doing. For late and the work's taking it's rough. This time of year, there's water and gas supply pipes bursting left, right, and center. They're after cheap labor to get the roads dug up to fix it. It's a hard slog from dawn to dusk it is. So, you're out digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you? That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was just around the corner from where it happened, by the old bookshop it was. What? Another coincidence? That's right, Mersham Street it was. Mersham Street? On the map is Naruto, there are only 3 named streets. It's juror number 5. I need to add that information to your formal statement, please. What's the point of that? Can we just get this business over with now? Please, sir, it's important. Fine, I'll do it then. On the day it happened, I was sticking up Mersham Street from dawn till dusk. Mersham Street. Where was it? Sorry? Fold it, you said? Fold what? No, what I said was hold it. What I wanted to ask was, do you visit your books often? I like the old books that have in there. Yes, I enjoy reading over a nice cup of old tea. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day. I'm going in the hair I'll talk about. And at what time did you visit your books on the day in question? Why are you sitting wheezing? Well, I was picking out books in there all afternoon. It would have been just before 5 that I left. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day. Including the day I'll talk about. Just before 5, you say exactly when the victim was attacked. Are you sure about the time? Oh, yes, no mistake. I remember well. I'm not about to forget that day in a hurry. Not to jump a time ahead. What do you mean? Well, I was looking at Calabash Road and I slipped on the ice and knocked my head. It's always worse that the snow stopped falling. That's when it's most slippery. Knocked myself clean out, I did. I really thought my numbers up. Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Wait, now hold on a minute. This happened on Calabash Road? That's right. I live in Corn Pipe, you see. Heading down Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back for your books. Juror number 6, I must insist that you add that information to your formal statement. It may very well be extremely significant. Huh? Sorry? Extremely sick? No, I'm quite alright now. It says a shiver. Spooky, scary skeletons send shivers down your spine. To hear the members of the jury so convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt. But I can't help feeling that some of their opinions are rather subjective. Especially juror number 6. I mean, juror number 2's opinions are so subjective. Just because they're foreigners. They're foreigners. I agree, it's the irrelevance of what some of them are saying that sends a shiver down my spine. Still, at least some of their assertions don't actually incriminate Mr. Natsume anything. That's something. We must use that to our advantage, Naruhodo. Cunningly. Yes, you're right. Let's listen to the jurors again carefully. And if any of their assertions are at odds, I'll pit them mercilessly against each other. Yes, don't hold back. Pit them all against each other. Okay, I'm gonna pit number 3 to this guy.
Objection!
Those two statements are clearly at odds with one another. At odds? Counsel, explain yourself. Please, don't point. It wasn't me, I swear. What? I just want to get this done and dusted. Well, juror number 3. Oh, me, sir? What do you mean? Juror number 5's words just now are extremely significant. Let's take a moment to consider the implications of what's been said on our map of the local area. On the day in question, Mr. Natsume visited this bookshop to purchase a number of second-hand books. And on the same day, we now know that there were works being carried out in Mersham Street, making it impassable, which means that the defendants were at home. Could not have taken him along Mersham Street and down Briar Road. Oh, yes, of course. What do you think, sir? Well, yes, you can't argue that really, can you? We must have had a good 2 yards or more at the pavement up. Every gentleman that came along had to turn back and go the other way. So, the only conclusion is this. The defendant must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings. Yes, I suppose he must have. I suppose that must be right, eh? Juror number 3 said the following. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop, but we see now that he had no choice. Yes! My lord, Mr. Judge, sir, if I may? Yes? I don't think in all good conscience that I could say the man's guilty now. Yes, I'd like to see his trial continue so we could get to the bottom of what really happened. Alright, we got one. What about you, sir? Who, me? Well, alright then. If there's a hole in the prosecution's argument, it should be filled in, that's what I say. Alright, we got two. Oh, well done, Miss Narharder, that was wonderful. Well, we managed to change a couple of minds at least, discerning our position somewhat. Yes, and it will prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stance as well. They'll be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not. Now, if we could just identify one more clue or discrepancy that could make them stop doubting Mr. Natsume. We might be able to tip the balance completely. Yes, that's exactly what you got to do. Fancies is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. That's what we have to prevent by whatever means we have at our disposal.
Hold it!
I don't know why the girl was stabbed. I mean, there was on the table at the same time every day. And for the record, could you please identify precise location of her fall? Goodness, it was ages ago now. I'm just sure I can remember. It was 3 days ago. Try judging your memory, please. Okay, I just had to like press the jurors. Well, let's see. It was especially something around that. Oh yes, I remember now. It was just on the corner here. What happened to you then? Were you alright? Well, you don't get too many people down Calabash Road, you see. So there's no one around when I fell, no one around when I knocked myself out, no one around when I came to again, and no one around my sneeze. So I picked myself up and went back to my nice warm house and got sugar and waited for me. A sad and lonely picture paints, sir. You're fortunate not to have frozen to death. Yes, how lucky that you wasn't more seriously injured. True, it sounds like it was very nearly another hospital admission or worse. Ah yes, one more thing. Were you wearing the same green overcoat on the day in question? Absolutely, it's the only coat I have. It took until this morning to dry it properly. Good job too, or I have nothing to wear here. I suppose we should. This gentleman certainly had a close shave there. Okay. So we are wearing the same green overcoat.
Objection!
The system is clear show a flaw in the juror's reasoning. A flaw? What are you talking about, counsel? Well, juror number 2, juror number 6, whatever do you mean, sir? I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you. Unbelievable, it's not like I was loud or anything. There's at least one fact of which you can be sure here. The bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he had been to your books and purchased a number of secondhand titles. He then returned home on foot. But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey. That's correct. But what he does remember is seeing someone appear in front of him in the way. Someone in a green overcoat suddenly coughs on the pavement before his eyes. Yes, we are all aware of this. The poor young woman was stabbed, obviously, but it could have been the old man in the green coat. Can we really be sure of that, madame? My, whatever do you mean? I'm sure you heard juror number 6's account of what happened to him that day. That same afternoon, there's somebody else apart from the victim, who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood. Oh my! My goodness, you mean... That's right, I'm referring to, of course. Too hard of hearing, juror number 6. Are you really suggesting that the person in the green overcoat the defendant saw across in front of his eyes was this jolly old gentleman on the end of the bench here with me today? That's entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man has a somewhat similar build to the victim. Well, look at that. My goodness me. Huh? Sorry? You need to pee? And crucially, no, nobody needs to go to the bathroom right now. We know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell. On Calabash Road. Therefore, the person who Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6. It means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings. And if that was true, then clearly. The crime scene at Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way home. Oh my! You idiot, old man. If you hadn't been so daft to be roaming about there, we'd have boxed this off hours ago. I'm really worried thinking wearing such a befuddling coat. What did you say to me? It is a crime the elderly to walk the streets these days, Is it a crime to slip over on the ice? Like he literally got knocked out. Is it a crime to keep up the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat, is it? How much makeup do you need to put on, lady? My lord, I do hope it won't cause any inconvenience, but... You like to change your leaning, I presume? I do declare that I would. I should like to be called for a verdict of not guilty. Thank you. And I would too. What? Is it a crime to change your mind, is it? Well... Jeez, dude, calm down. Well, the summation examinations could with a rather large shift in opinion. The A's 2, the no's 4, so the no's have it, not guilty they say. Which means they no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. The trial will continue.
Objection!
Could it seem churlish of me to drink from a hail chalice moments after raising an objection? Only to question and discuss. Pray forget the discourtesy. Lord Van Ziegs? It seems I must retract my earlier remark. What do you mean? I mistakenly credited these jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer. Whatever do you mean?
Objection.
I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I've said is the truth. Indeed, Star juror number 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement which you had excavated, sir. That's right. It took me the whole day to pay me a measly tuppence for it. Now, my learned Nipponese friend, tell me. Do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents? Well, if I'm honest, I don't have a clue, no. 2 yards is a little less than 2 meters. Okay, 2 meters is a lot, okay? Less than 2 meters, that's not much at all. Why would you want to, like, go along a road that's raised like 2 meters? In other words, a distance rarely vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor. Would you not agree, my sour friend? Me? Well, I can't say you're wrong, no. What? And did you perchance erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works? Well, I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time. No coaches would have hope passing anyway. We just turn any gentlefolk back when they come. Kids just jump right over us all the time. The accused is no gentleman as far as I can see. I have no little doubt, however, that he could spring over to our trenches meanderings around town. Is that true? Is it? Well, what if he didn't? The incontrovertible truth. The incontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accused are found on the scene. There can be no doubt it was way back in his lodgings when Natsume walked down Briar Road. What if the books are different? What if the titles are different? An old man. A cold man? You can talk? You say that around 5 o'clock on the day in question you slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there a suspicious looking Nipponese behind you all the time? Oh, I can't say I remember. You don't remember? How about a wager, my learned friend? You say it was this old man that the accused saw, but I will lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it. Arrgh! Order, order! Lord Van Ziegs, explain yourself, my lord. If you had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve, Why the word is not proper during the summation examination? Because prosecutors can't say anything during the summation examination. I wanted to get this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for. I wanted him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed. But my hospitality has its limits, and they have been reached, I feel. Well, he took off his cape. Here's the real battle. So, my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over. What are you talking about? My lord. The prosecution requests permission to call its next witnesses to the stand. Granted. Valid. Bring forth the witnesses. It's next witnesses? Mr. Naruhodo, do you not remember? You've been told on several occasions there were eyewitnesses to the incident. Yes, I remember. One of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less. I'm afraid that's likely to be the prosecution's next witness. Alright, no matter who Vanseeks brings to the stand as his witnesses, and no matter what they say, I believe in Soseki-san. I know he's innocent. And I'll keep believing to the very end, until this battle is over. Alright, I think that'll be it for part 16 of The Great Ace Attorney. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.